Unexpected, Rodrygo to Liverpool, Garnacho nearing Napoli, deal already on the table, massive rebuild at Manchester United and Vlahović transfer, Ancelotti sentenced to prison, 1 year behind bars and a huge fine. All of this and more in today's episode. Anthony Elanga's transfer to Newcastle United is officially complete. Medical passed, documents signed, and the £55 million deal is closed. The 23-year-old Swedish winger, who had a brilliant season at Nottingham Forest, has signed a contract with the Magpies until 2030. Newcastle sees him as a key element of the new attacking trio, alongside Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. Elanga has already been named one of the Premier League's most dynamic players, and his speed, flexibility, and pressing ability fit perfectly into Eddie Howe's system. Manchester United, who sold Elanga to Forest for £15 million in 2023, will receive approximately £6.5 million from the transfer, thanks to a 15% sell-on clause from the profit. Tottenham has agreed to a £55 million transfer for Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, according to Sky Sports and The Athletic. The Ghanaian has already agreed to personal contract terms. He will sign a 6-year deal, with a medical scheduled for Thursday. This is the first transfer between the London clubs since Scott Parker's move in 2011. Kudus will become the Spurs' fourth signing this summer. New head coach Thomas Frank sees him as a key attacking player, especially after Richarlison's departure and Brennan Johnson's inconsistent form. Kudus spent 2 seasons at West Ham, scoring 13 goals and providing 12 assists in 65 Premier League matches. Despite a dip in his second season, he remains one of the league's most exciting dribblers. The player himself rejected offers from Chelsea and Newcastle because he specifically wanted to join Tottenham, a club returning to the Champions League. Napoli has re-entered the race for Alejandro Garnacho with a £45 million offer already on the table. After a public conflict with Ruben Amorim and missing the Europa League final, Garnacho found himself among the players Manchester United is willing to sell this summer. The Italian giant, who previously tried to sign the Argentine in January, has returned with a new offer, £45 million, Sky Sports reports. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis stated directly, "Garnacho has talent, but he won't fully develop at United. With us, he'll become twice as strong." The club sees him as an ideal replacement for Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, who moved to PSG. Previously, United rejected a £38 million offer, but now, after the player's value drop and Garnacho's own desire to change clubs, the deal looks realistic. The player himself is open to the move, and Napoli is ready to meet his financial demands, which were previously a stumbling block. Manchester United and Juventus are seriously discussing a swap deal involving Jadon Sancho for Dusan Vlahovic, and this agreement already looks like one of the most high-profile scenarios of the summer. The Turin club wants to lighten its wage bill and is willing to include not only Vlahovic but possibly Douglas Luiz or Timothy Weah in the swap. For United, this is a chance to get rid of a player who has long failed to live up to expectations. Sancho is not in Ruben Amorim's plans and costs the club about £250,000 per week, which, given his level of impact on the game, seems like a burden. Vlahovic, conversely, is open to a move to the Premier League and sees an opportunity to restart his career at United. His arrival could give the club exactly what it lacks, a powerful central forward who not only scores, but also knows how to work for the team, hold the ball, create space for teammates, and drive the attack forward. This comes amid the failure to sign Osimhen and the absence of a stable number, and it seems Manchester United is finally fed up with failed transfers, as the club is launching a massive overhaul of its scouting system. Better late than never, perhaps. Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have decided to radically revamp the club's scouting structure. According to The Athletic, United has reduced the number of scouts from over 100 to just 10 in the first team, and also dismissed head of scouting Stephen Brown. The new system will be led by Christopher Vivell, who previously worked at RB Leipzig and Chelsea. His task is to modernize the approach to talent identification, combining traditional scouting with data analytics. To achieve this, the club has engaged the consulting firm Sportsology, which is helping to find a head of senior recruitment and regional managers for scouting young talent. These are not just cosmetic changes, this is an attempt to bring United back to an era of smart transfers, after failures with players like Sancho, Antony, Mount and Højlund, among many others. The list is very long here. If the rebuild works, the club could once again become a magnet for young stars and avoid financial losses. Though, to be honest, after Man United's failure with the Osimhen transfer, it's hard to believe anything will improve this season. We'll see though. What do you think? According to Transfermarkt, Liverpool has held talks with Rodrygo's agents regarding a potential move this summer. Real Madrid is open to a sale, as after the arrival of Kylian Mbappé, the Brazilian has lost his place in the starting lineup. Rodrygo himself stated that the Premier League is his priority, and he has already rejected offers from Saudi Arabian clubs, including Al Nassr. Liverpool sees him as a potential replacement for Luis Diaz, who may move to Barcelona, and is ready to offer around £80 million, although Real values the player at £100 million. This is not the Reds' first attempt to sign Rodrygo. They were close to a deal even before his move to Real in 2019. Now that the situation has changed, a transfer looks realistic, especially if Diaz leaves the club. AFC Bournemouth is close to finalising the transfer of goalkeeper Georg Petravvic. After an official offer sent on Wednesday, the club is confidently moving towards finalising the deal. As reported by Fabrizio Romano, the player himself has already agreed to join the Cherries, and now everything depends on final approval from Chelsea. The English club values the transfer at 25 to 30 million euros, and there is an informal agreement between the clubs to accelerate the completion of negotiations. At Bournemouth, Petrovic is set to become the new number one after Kepa Arrizabalaga's move to Arsenal. The transfer is expected to be completed in the coming days, and Petrovic will get a chance to prove himself in the Premier League as one of the most promising goalkeepers of his generation. Carlo Ancelotti, the current head coach of the Brazilian national team, has been sentenced by a court in Madrid to 1 year in prison for tax evasion in 2014. This was reported by the Spanish agency EFE. This refers to the Italian's first period at the helm of Real Madrid. At that time, according to the prosecution, he illegally concealed €386,361. Another charge concerned 2015 for €675,718, but he was fully acquitted on that one. In addition to the prison sentence, the verdict includes a fine for the mentioned amount, a ban on receiving state subsidies, and a deprivation of the right to use tax and social benefits for 3 years. Ancelotti had previously admitted that he entrusted his financial affairs to his advisors and had no intention of breaking the law. In 2021, he fully repaid his debt to the state. As reported by ESPN, Ancelotti will most likely receive a suspended sentence. This is explained by the fact that, according to Spanish law, sentences of less than 2 years in prison for non-violent crimes rarely require an accused without prior convictions to actually serve time. At the same time, it is noted that the Spanish prosecutor's office had demanded a sentence of 4 years and 9 months of imprisonment for Ancelotti, as well as a fine of €3.2 million. That's it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Keep watching for more football action and have a wonderful day.